Hello, everyone. We are here to do the live update as I'm wiping my makeup. I can see makeup at the corner. I've had one of those long weeks. Okay, we're going to get into the energy update for the Taurus moon. Look at it. I can see it. The lighting is terrible as well, so forgive me. I'll wait for people to enter the house and we're going to get into the energy update for the Taurus moon. Now, there's a lot to cover, and I know that a lot of you energetically are feeling frustrated, semi-triggered, and I'm hoping that the connection is working fine because I have moved the studio around, so hopefully it's connecting in okay. And I'll wait for people to enter the house and then we'll have a bit of a chat. Yes, well, I'm trying to do nighttime sessions so you guys can actually see me, because I do know there are people in various places in the world, and I used to do quite a few nighttime energy reads. A lot of it has been due to our ascension symptoms. I have been experiencing a lot of fatigue this year, especially with the purging and the transformation. And I think a lot of us have been really having to use that energy into certain things. Yeah. So it has been really hard. It's been very difficult, both energetically, spiritually, and it has been for 3 years, and it is interconnecting with the moon. A very warm welcome, Helen. Hello, my soul family. How are we all? Now, I do know, and I do want to touch base with you Taurus energies at the moment, because you guys are going to be, this is supposed to be a very positive moon. Now, we've still got the frequency going on of the scorpionic energy, okay? So it's given us the polarity, and we talk about polarities with energy, and just really probably since October, I started more heavily really investing and looking back at the astrological aspects and trying to look at what 2020 was, what's really coming through. You tend to look at the planets in terms of what the transit's going to be, how long they're in, each zodiac sign, what themes they're making, etc. And there has been this situation going on where a lot of people, and the Leo King speaks about it, with the red pill or the blue pill going down the rabbit hole, a lot of the energy we've been dealing with has been internalized. It's really that awakening aspect. When you're going through an awakening, you are directly looking at, how you're feeling about things, what's been going on, how to relate to certain situations. And there was this great purge really that has been going on for a good 3 years when it comes to your inner power and to the things. So for some of you, you may be quite stuck in looking at, your careers, looking at, your finances, your family domain, especially with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn. And it is reaching a very frustrating point. Now, next month does bode very well for finances. But it's also, when we look at finances, it's very much connected in with what we believe we're worth. So a lot of this, what's going on, especially with this Taurus moon, we kind of link it into various areas. And I have pulled the houses per zodiac sign, so I'll briefly mention them. But I'm going to help you guys actually deal with the full moon energy. Now, traditionally in full moon energy, it is a releasing and a low, and very much, if you need to charge your crystals, charge your crystals. Charge some water as well, so you can put it under moonlight and you can drink it for any purging that you need and replenishing, so you can detoxify yourself. It's a very good time to do that. It is a Venus house, so it is to do with the way we look at things, and it's the romance and it's our interconnections, but it's operating very differently than what Libra is. Libra is very give and take in the balance, whereas Taurus is what is the value in this situation, and it is more a realistic sign. So Taurians can be very protective of their tribe and their connections. But when you research the actual zodiac sign, it also does talk about building walls up and having that intuitive connection. And the scorpionic energy has very much given us that. So it's given us that intuition about what is and what isn't working, what's in alignment and what's not. And we've been moving through these energies most of the year, trying to balance them out, trying to correct them. So each moon transit is really giving us an opportunity to deal with similar themes from a different angle. So we're now coming into the paradigm where we've gone through the supercharged scorpionic energy, especially with Mercury retrograde. So it's not only our actions, but it's not just the words, it's the actions, really putting your money where your mouth is. And although the communication factor is difficult, it's seeing in those difficult scenarios how you can look at other aspects, but it's a very good time to actually have that meditation. Hi, Angela. So with that meditation, like I've got a girlfriend that is a Taurus, and I reached out to her the other day and I messaged her. So Carmen, big love and light. And I was guided to inbox her, and that's so it's still going to be collective energy for those of you that are Taurus. Very much what you're going through, for those of you who are Taurian, is it's your first house. So for you guys in particular, it may be very scary, especially with Uranus being retrograde. You're potentially looking at your life and you're thinking to yourself, okay, where do I go from here? What exactly is my life going to be moving forward? Who is the new version of myself? Are people valuing what I value? Do I link in with my tribe? It is very much that energy. Yes, it is a blue background. I was researching how to do things, and I've been very creative because my twin actually had a lot at home. So I'm like, okay, let's get creative. So yes, and I wanted to connect the ambience up and create a studio, which I will be upgrading for 2020. But I'm gradually shifting things around so that we can have different locations. I've also got a TV screen that I'll be connecting up, and I will be doing interviews on it, so I can put it behind me and you can have on the couch with Yildiz. And we're going to do telephone calls where you guys are quite welcome to call in, and I'll be putting the number up and we can answer various questions. But I will be in 2020 probably really changing it up to make it more for you guys, you know, where you have asked me and told me the things that you're liking. But definitely the tools and things to that degree we will be touching base on. So it'll be anything from our chakras to how to enhance your spiritual gift. We'll do talk scenarios, because I find a lot of those things in my conversational piece in the morning when I'm speaking to spiritual like-minded people. We break down the energy because we're tuning into it daily. So it's like you're a newsreader tuning into the energy on a daily basis, which does mean, unfortunately, that our purge does come more so because we have to really tune into it, understand it, you know, work through our spiritual blockages so that we can understand what the energy is and handle it. Very much in the last few weeks, it has been extremely heavy, and even for the younger generation, it has been extremely difficult, where they've felt very frustrated, very triggered. It's been crosswise in families. Because the planet Mars has been with Scorpio, and that is the planet of war. So it's also the energy where we're researching things, you know, what has been hidden from us, and that can be deep feelings we've been physically having. Moving into the Taurian energy is the polarity. It's okay, well, now that I have these revelations, now that I've seen some of the truths, some of my truths, and that's physically speaking, you know, I'm talking metaphorically, what you've discovered in those areas, and depending on what house it falls in your chart as a zodiac sign, which I will be discussing, it's there that you're looking at those scenarios and saying, okay, what's the value in it? Because when you look at the Taurus energy, I'll just discuss some of the things it covers. It is about your money. It's about being practical. Can be connected to your body, being a Taurus energy, your daily routine, love, intimacy, romance, connections. It does govern your material, money, and value. But when we talk about that, it's not just the physical money, okay? It's the way in which you invest in situations, what you're putting into situations. Also, if you're finding that you're having a hunch and you're thinking, gosh, I really need to be prepared for 2020. The work that you're doing now is setting you up for 2020. And when I do talk about January, it's probably the first time I've tuned in cyclically. I can actually say, hi, love. I can actually say it's the first time I would say we're going to be hitting the ground running when it does come to 2020. Now, females collectively are finding this energy at the moment most interesting. You can have a lot of lower chakras really being activated in a frustrating energy. So that can be your solar plexus, your sacral chakra, and your base chakra. So it can be almost, you know, do you trust your gut instincts? How do you feel about what you're feeling? Are you required to own your power in those situations? And not from a pain body experience, but from a very much internal authority perspective, where you're taking the bull by the horns. And that's what the Taurus energy is actually going to give you an opportunity to do. It is where you are going to be looking at things. You're going to be looking at things very differently, but you actually, it's like the judgment card. That's what I'm sensing. And a lot of this, hi, Fem Coach, a lot of this is where we're purging what we just don't. It's almost like we've been subjected to a series of very unfortunate events, and we're looking at it and we're going, I don't know, man. I'm just not invested in this, or I'm not invested in that. You want another session? Do you miss me already, Femme Coach? I mean, we were cracking up the other day. And look, some of my clients that, you guys are like my family. When we do talk, it's really real. It's really raw, organic. I share with you my personal experiences, and I really do wish to do that with you guys. This has been a hard share. Both with balance, both with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn, the transit of Jupiter and of Saturn and Pluto, and their transits and how long they take. We're not out of the woods yet, but it's different. Next year is going to be very much connected to the external world. So all of what you're doing is very different. A lot of you might have found toxic frequencies coming up inside yourself. A lot of you may have actually found that old ways of dealing with things just isn't working anymore. So you're having to upgrade spiritually and really grow. And it's really taking a toll, especially if you've been doing a great deal of work on yourself. You could be even questioning, some of your belief systems. Were they relevant? Some of your belief systems, were they pain body experiences, or were they based on a 3D reality? And the Neptune energy is helping you see what the dream can be, that it is a potentiality. And I do feel a lot of you know what you're wanting to achieve. But the frustration has been the tools directly at your disposition, or the doors closing, the frustration connected to that, the trust and source, universe, Gaia. But also, what you are, some of the old energies can really be coming up right now. It's very much a time where you're going to be looking at things and you're going to be saying, okay, what do I need to do to achieve these targets? And it's a very adult-orientated frequency coming through. But it is going to be where you're going to look at things differently. Now, for Aries, this falls in your second house. And this is connected to your finances. And I know that when I have been doing readings connected to any Aries energy, be it soulmate, be it general reads, a lot of financial related dynamics have been coming up. This can both be your professional resources, your networking, your material value. So it could have been home related dynamics. It might have been even just trying to tie up loose ends. But again, it felt like quite a stuck energy. Now, coming up in your second house, it's beneficial that it's occurring, because Taurus being in Uranus, it's about, the bigger picture, your goals, your dreams. Although it's retrograde, it's helping you reflect if you wish to achieve certain targets in your finance, what are you going to need to do to achieve that? It's really the adult factor, but it's not, it's more meditation on that process than actually completely jumping in the deep end and reacting right away. Now, a lot of you that have been struggling with certain things, obviously once Mercury goes direct this month, it's really going to help it move forward. So I would highly suggest during this moon transit to use the time to meditate, to use the time to problem solve, but also to do some inner nurturing, especially when it does come to this, be gentle with yourself, but also make a plan of action of what you're willing to do, what you're willing to invest in, and whether that cost is actually worth it. Because there is a lot of spirituality going on, within this transit. And it's not just about the physical component of the cash component. It's about at the cost of what? Okay, so it's weighing up of pros and cons. So for Aries, I do feel, and I'll pull a card per sign. For Aries, I do feel you guys looking at these things, you may have some subject matters coming up. Now, again, with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn, and that falling in your second house, you're going to be looking at what you need to do in that area. And I do feel this is a movement forward for you guys. It can be, I'm still feeling you're going to have to take the bull by the horns. Look, you've got the Knight of Wands. This, again, is a very passionate energy. It's a very fiery energy. So something might have started around the time of the Scorpion frequency coming through. And that's anywhere between four to 8 weeks, I would guesstimate. It is where you're just going to have to make a decision. And it really is to actually dig in, have a look at it, use that meditation, and make a physical decision about what you're going to do. It doesn't have to be right away, but this does denote swiftness, so it does mean it's fast-paced movement. And I do feel by mid-month, which we're heading there already, I do feel it's really going to amp up where that movement's going to be connected. Now, we do also have the aspects Jupiter is making, which is connected to, you know, growth in those areas. So with that connection, I do find that quite positive for Aries, that is a factor. Again, you're really recommended to meditate on the ideas. Pay attention to your dreams. If you say, and this is for everyone collectively, not just Aries, you know, really pay attention to anything you're seeing in your subconscious mind. It's very psychic energy at the moment, but it's also very creative. So if you're tapping into your creative source, it's really going to benefit you at this point in time. You're also going to need to be quite compassionate towards anyone at a lower frequency level that is feeling quite spiritually stuck, you know, and you will see the opposing energies, where you'll see a lot of people very triggered, very emotional, quite frustrated, almost depressed. And then other people where they're looking at it going, it's not rocket science, you know, choose what makes you happy. Do what takes you to your higher purpose. You know, really being in alignment sometimes is, it's a huge responsibility, because it does mean having to speak your truth, and a lot of subject matters connected to the sacral chakra and solar plexus has come up, and I'll talk about that at the end of the video. Now, with the full moon, it will be trining Pluto, so that will intensify your emotions. But, you know, when you look at the planet Pluto, it is about births, deaths, resurrections, and endings, and it's the ego connected to that, where we're feeling, you know, do things have to change? And the Taurus energy was already struggling this year, because the Taurus frequency likes to keep things the same. But if we wish to evolve, and especially for Taurians individually, so it's challenging, because it's making us understand to achieve some of these things that we're wanting, we're actually having to change. And it is so many changes in such a short space of time that it can be very unsettling. And this is where we need to get back to the, okay, assessing situations, looking at it. Is there equal give and take in this? You know, okay, let's discuss this. Although Mercury's retrograde, we're taking more caution when we are speaking, for those of us that are aware. If you can have compassion to the other person, that potentially they may not be understanding that because of the transits, and potentially they don't know as much about astrology, it can help you govern that actual conversation. But you'll find that the Taurus energy will lighten up the frequency of Mercury retrograde. There is also, with the Pluto aspect, it's your psychological transformation. It's where you were before versus where you are now, and how you're looking at things. Do you feel the same about what you felt was value? Are you now valuing different things, and have you evolved quicker than you actually thought? And this can even be connected to counterpart frequencies. With Mars sextiling Jupiter, this is where you're going to get your strength to move forward, where you're going to take the bull by the horns, and you're going to be looking at things and go, okay, if I'm wanting X, Y, and Z, what will I physically need to do to actually move this forward? And it's going to give you more courage. And this is a time where more fortune can come your way. With your hunches, you do need to trust them, though. I will say that. Now, Leo, you guys, it falls in your 10th house, and this is your career, reputation, fame, or lack of, and other parents. So again, with the Taurus energy, it's asking you to have a look at that, and what are you wanting to change in that? What are you willing to actually place your energy into, in a sense of, how do I transform this frequency? Some of you might have been putting a lot of legwork into your career and feeling that no matter what you're doing, it's just not shifting. It may be due to the Mercury retrograde, especially if you work in communication. It may also be about networking and looking at it, but really assessing what the plan of action is moving forward. I do feel you've got the 8 of Wands, and I'm feeling as though just do keep proceeding forward, because you're on the right track. Even if you feel that things have been stagnant, this year has been the internalization, you know, really seeing these scenarios so that we can gain closure on and know what is and what isn't for us. And it's really the only way we can have that complete understanding and clarity. It's almost like you have to see it to believe it. So once you see it, you believe it, and you feel inner peace that you've done all you physically could. The rest will be sorted. But I do feel this is a great time for expansion, especially since there's It looks like Jupiter connected on the card. Poor lighting. Okay. So you can see the bow and arrow, looking at the tools that you have at your disposition and looking at your career, looking at your reputation, where people have given you notation and what you're going to do to move it forward. I do feel this to be quite positive, especially when it does come to networking, or even if you're frustrated, at the job you're doing and you're feeling that glass ceiling won't break, do keep moving forward. You may even be a YouTuber, and be the Leo who is trying to deal with this and looking at it going, am I on the right track? Is there something I need to look at? It is just to continue the process. Go back to basics. Look at what actually works for you. Keep it as fluid as possible so that you can continue to move your situation forward. But I do feel this energy where you're looking at your career, where you're trying to depend on yourself more so, and you're not wanting to depend on others. And you're taking that strength, but you're only investing in what you truly believe is a firm deal. This can even be having to physically have the courage and move forward, even if you don't physically know what's going on. Even if people are pointing the finger at you and pointing blame, it is again the mirror. And a lot of times when people do point the finger, and this could just be a simple message that's coming through very separately to this, the mirror is what they're saying is what is going on inside them, and that's their pain body experience. So try not to take that personal. Now, Sagittarius, this is your 6th house, and this is again to do with your work environment, habits, routines, and health. And there can be very, again, it's really a time to take better care of yourself, to look at the situation and say, what am I needing out of this? What are my needs in this situation? Are you happy at work? Is there something that needs to change in that? And if there was, what would you physically need to do in order to change that scenario? Your routine as well may have been creating an imbalance, and really the Taurus energy, moving away from the Scorpionic energy, is giving you the clarity of that. So what to do from there is really going to benefit you. There can be this energy that is quite young. It's something you're wanting to start. Whenever we see page energy in a card and you've got the Page of Swords, it can be sharp communication, but at the same time, it's keeping it real, keeping it to the point where you're telling your truth, you're stating your sovereignty of what you're wanting to achieve, but you're cutting to the chase with situations. I do feel this can be very direct, and it can be sharp communication. So it might be that you're getting a little bit agitated with certain people around you, and this can be affecting your health. So, pay attention to those energies and really use the time to have some meditation. Hi, Carmen. I'll be talking to you shortly. So, looking at the energy and going, okay, what do we do from here? You might feel very imbalanced, Sagittarius, where you've got the benefit of the Jupiter energy. So I still feel expansion in this area, but it's like really looking at it and saying, okay, what am I going to need to do? Do I need to actually rest? And what can I do to bring this all together? And I feel if you just make a gradual plan through the time of meditation, through the Taurus moon, use your crystals to balance your energy. And the one thing I have been saying quite a lot this week is Tiger Eye. And again, it's very beneficial when it does come to your spirituality, to your blocks, to your protection and your energy and toxic energies. And I do feel this has been really beneficial for you guys to help you balance the energy. It can be a time where we eat more, where we're more social, even if we didn't want to. And our food energies as well can really be changing and shifting. Gemini, yours is the 12th house. Can't make that up. You guys are going through a rough time, but it's a time when you really got to trust your intuition. It can be connected to your subconscious mind, which is the psyche as well. Following a hunch and really trusting it. And I have spoken in the past about us trusting both our gut instincts and our third eye, our intuition, and not letting the ego override what our instincts are directly telling us. And sometimes when we've had betrayals in situations, or, we've kind of not trusted it and it hasn't gone quite according to plan, it's that inbuilt belief system that we were wrong, so therefore we're always going to be wrong. But you've got to trust your higher consciousness. This could also be where you have something on your mind you're guided to do, and it keeps coming up and it keeps coming up. Again, it's a nagging and an inkling, and you really do need to pay attention to it. So the subject matter that has been on your mind for quite a while, pay attention to your dreams and have a look at them, because it's really going to benefit you, helping to work through and find a solution. Now, you've got Two of Wands in reverse. Okay, this is Aries energy, okay? So you won't connect it to a situation, because we have Aries and Chiron at the moment. And the way the cards speak to me, obviously, because I do tune into astrology, sometimes I'll feel it's a physical energy of a person, and yes, it can be. But at the same time, I do link it in more so with the planets and the transits and what's going on. Now, with Chiron, which is your wound, and especially since the subconscious mind has come up, it is where, Gemini, you do need to trust your instincts. You might be feeling something is repeating itself. And a lot of us, I do feel energetically, we feel we're repeating scenarios. It's not necessarily that we're repeating it. It's coming back in a sense of testing whether we will trust our subconscious mind, testing whether we have outgrown a certain path and a way of being. But it is a very psychic energy coming through for you guys. It's asking you to understand, don't block yourself. Don't think it's just all ego. If it is, look at the pain body experience and see what you can do to build that healthy relationship with your downloads. Now, this can also be where you're holding something in. Hey, Giggle, are you getting ready, lady? Giggle has an outing today. Okay, so it's hidden enemies, illicit affairs, and it can be a pain body experience, especially for those of you that are Gemini. If something's come up and it's creeping into your mind, it's old energy, but you're trying to trust your intuition and the way you're wanting to navigate your way forward. Now, connecting with romances, although it is falling in your 12th house, it's still going to affect different areas of your life, because it is a collective energy, not just a house-related dynamic. So spiritually speaking, the way you interlink with people and who you're choosing, you're really having to trust your instincts of what you feel is right for yourself. Now, if people are telling you that this person is not for you, you do have to go back to your own inner power and choose whether that is correct for you. Definitely, Gemini, do trust your instincts when it does come to what you feel is correct. Now, Libra, this falls in your 8th house, and it's interesting because Taurus is a Venus house, and so too is Libra. So it is operating the same as what you are, but you're having to look at it from a very different perspective. You're looking at it from a more realistic perspective. And when I do say that, it's more, I don't want to say it's a negotiation. And I used to say that to my daughter all the time. We don't negotiate with terrorists. And that's when, kids are being naughty sort of thing. It was a sarcastic thing, I'd say. No disrespect. It was a joke. But it does feel more where you're being very, very practical. You're looking at things and you're going, okay, I'm weighing up pros and cons there. I'm looking at these things and, how do I directly relate to it? Now, falling in your 8th house, I'm feeling very Saturn energy. Now, it's still going to affect your romance house, your connections, and all the rest of it, but it is falling in life, death, money, legacies, the will, and the ability to rebuild. So, like I said before I even looked, you're looking at it very practically. You're looking at all the scenarios, the tribe, the connections, the pain body experience, what you hold in a sense of value, and this can even be your inner value of what you feel you need in an equation, and looking at it very rationally like a piece of a puzzle and saying, look, I'm willing to do this, but what will we need to do to make this work? Now, again, I will mention at the end of the video the sacral chakra and solar plex energy that has been coming up for a lot of people. And this is where, with the scorpionic energy coming through in Mars, the planet of war, and then it's moving through and we're getting the polarity of the Taurus energy, which is romanticizing things, but looking at the value and coming back down to, okay, with all of what we've seen and all of what we've witnessed, now that we're coming back to our sense of self, which we're going to feel a bit more grounded, but it can be a time you have to ground yourself. You have to get back down to earth. You're still going to have the Neptune energy of the dream state, but seeing the delusions and the value in situations and the manifestation of what you wish to grow, but only investing in what you know is going to be able to be achieved in that way and what would be required. So it's like an investment, it's like an inventory of what the investment should be and what the outcome of that investment should be. So it is like a a bank clerk. That's what it's feeling like. We'll pull a card for Liberans and see what comes up for their 8th house. But I'm feeling very Pluto energy with you guys. You know, it's like, yeah, you're seeing through the deception. So it's like, look, I've done my Scorpionic energy. I've looked deep. You've uncovered some truths. You've uncovered some faketies, and even if that's even a word, and you're looking at it going, okay, now that we know that, now that we know the truth, and now that we know what, you know, was not based on the true reality of what ends and what doesn't, there could be a lot of toxic energies around you, and you're looking at it and you're thinking it really needs to come to an end. I'll pull one more card. What is this energy? And I will after go back to the Taurus energy again, because it is very much for the Taurians as well. And I'll make the last comment for them, because we do have my special friend in the house as well. Okay, Knight of Swords. Yeah, you're just trying to be very realistic about it. It's like, look, let's cut through to the chase. There could be some toxic energies around. How do we look at this? Looking at the foundation of things, you know, what's based on reality, because this is life, death, money, legacies, wills, and the ability to bounce back and move forward. So it's like what you want to leave behind, what you want to stand for in your life, what your ethics and morals are really connected to those areas. There also could be a subject matter where there has been a very deceitful person. In a karmic sense, their frequency will reap their karma, especially with the nodes being in Capricorn, because that's governing past tense karma, and it's really leaving the energy where it lies and allowing the universe to sort that frequency. But I do feel you're aware of where deceitful frequencies are. I also do feel that you know what's based on a reality and what's not, and what you need to do to effectively correct the foundation. So it's really cutting to the chase with it. And the Knight of Swords is about, again, it can be being very rational, being very direct, really cutting to the chase. Hi, Stefan. Hi, Star of Oracle. Now, for Aquarians, you guys have been in it. I'm telling you, I've got a lot of Aquarians around me, and you guys have been in it. So, Aquarius, yours is your 4th house. Well, no wonder. It's your physical foundation, domestic issues, endings, parents, and home. Your perspective on those areas are changing, but you know, you do need to meditate. You need to really sit down, relax, get away from the white noise, because it can be affecting your frequency at the moment. You know, look at your inner power. Is it connected to you? Is it connected to an actual home environment? Are you enabling it? Are you not? Just do some meditation in the area. I mean, you directly will know what that energy is and how it directly relates to you, and that's going to help you. Some of you need to have faith in the situation that it's evolving, and there is a method to the madness that is effectively trying to correct the foundation of the home-related dynamic, a parent figure, or if you're co-parenting, they could be going through transitions and changes at the moment. But also looking at what you can physically do to correct that if possible, and what energy you need to put in, you know, the health of the connection of the home environment, your physical foundation where it stands, what you can do in baby steps to rectify that, and that can be inner healing as well. Okay. You've got the 7 of Swords. Now, 7 spiritually and abundantly does aspect well. It also is, you know, this energy where there can be something come towards you that's quite beneficial, something in a changing sense that's going to change your vibration. I do feel potentially there is an energy, Aquarius, that is going to be that there is going to be romance coming towards you, but it's really about choosing healthier options, healthier ways of being, you know, that can assist with the transformation of that foundation. If it's on your side of the fence and you're able to do something, yes, do it. Meditate upon it first and then proceed. If it's not, it's actually looking at the reality of, do you need to remove yourself from the scenarios if they're physically not in alignment with you. But I am feeling this is quite positive, but I do feel the necessity for you guys, Aquarius, to get yourself quite grounded. You know, try and meditate. Use the time to see different angles of the story to get the whole picture before directly reacting. Now, as I did mention at the beginning of the video, I did talk about the Taurian energy. Now, Taurus energy, it is falling in the first house. Now, the first house does govern yourself, so a lot of who you are is changing. You know, what are you wanting? Where do I go from here? The reason it's feeling so awkward is because it's every facet of who you are to the core has changed. And so governing where to go forward, especially since your zodiac sign directly is in Uranus retrograde, it's like, how do I look at this energy? You're having an opportunity to test some waters. It doesn't have to be at a permanent level, but it can be a time when you're really getting to know yourself again. And it does feel quite scary and awkward because you are a very different person. It's almost like a spiritual walk-in where you're feeling physically that you're the same person. So what's the problem? And you're trying to directly relate to certain things. And Giggle told a story, and it was about a butterfly going back to the caterpillars and, you know, trying to hang out with them and stay the same, but it just didn't fit. And it's true. It's like once you've evolved to a certain point, which we're constantly evolving, you might not quite know why automatically, but you have completely evolved. So getting to know the new you and what, you know, it could be your foods all of a sudden just go off and you're not directly relating to it. Your dress sense, and suddenly you're wanting to change it up and you're like, what's going on with me? Am I going through a midlife crisis? No, you're going through an evolution. So there is this transformation of self, and it is this very dreamlike state, especially since we have the Neptune energy and you're really spiritually growing. So yes, it can feel quite unusual. Hi, Doug. It can feel unusual, but it's invest in it. Use the meditation. Think about what's going on. And I'll pull a card for you guys, but I even feel your energy. It feels quite nervous. But it's like you're directly writing the new map of who you are. And people might be looking at you going, what's going on with you? Have the strength to keep moving forward. The new you is going to be very unique. It's going to be very evolved. Even in the way you relate to relationships, because you've changed. Certain ways that are relating to you just won't work because you have directly changed. Stand firm on what your beliefs are, because this is about you being strong, but there's strength in different ways. This can also be connected in with a spiritual connection. And, you know, the strength does come from your inner power to actually make choices, not just waiting for the other people to make choices, but where you stand directly making those choices too. What do you feel in a material sense? And some of you also, very separately, at a financial level, are looking at where you can directly change some situations in your financial domain so that you can have your direct life back the way you want. So it's a very personal transformation for you, and it's really not just governing, you know, you to the core of who you are. Your fear-based frequencies of what you are, your abilities, and how you want to move forward, and then moving into a different area, both with the financial aspects, you know, in your career sector, what you want to do about that, with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn, what your requirements are and your obligations to family versus how you're balancing your energy of what you personally need. And it does feel, and this was coming up last month, it does feel very, do I keep having to sacrifice my dreams and put my life on hold? Or, you know, how can I actually proceed forward? And you really are. And I do feel the energy where you're just going to take a leap of faith. So it does feel that you're almost questioning your intuition, but you're getting a hunch. And I just feel knots in the stomach through nerves of it. But I really do feel you're just going to take that leap of faith and, you know, follow your dreams. And you're really guided to at the moment. Have the meditation, though. You know, moving in the Taurus moon. Have the meditation, get your psychic downloads. It's going to help you to see things very differently. Get grounded, pay attention to your health, charge your crystals, drink your charged water, you know, purge anything that needs to go, because really being a full moon, it is about letting go of things versus the new you of what you want to achieve. And it's the balancing of those situations. Now, Virgo, this is your ninth house, and this is religion, education, foreign countries, and travel. And there can be some subject matters. It's like, you know, how much value do you have? You know, are you interconnected into it? It can be your culture, it can be your energy of what's going on, what you believe. Some of you may be upskilling, and again, some of you, you're going back to your root energy of where you came from. And it might be grounding you. It may be spiritually actually helping you link in, especially with the Scorpion energy that we're moving out of and moving towards the Taurus energy. You're still going to get that psychic download and that being able to actually tune into the frequencies of what's coming. So for you guys personally and intuitively, your belief systems and your religion can be your psychic gifts, and wanting to do the meditation, wanting to do the tuning in, researching astrology. Your beliefs are changing and evolving, and it's like, what do you actually value versus what paradigms have been instilled in you, and maybe you're moving away from that, and maybe you're evolving. Okay, let's see the card that comes up for Virgos. Virgo. 2. Okay. Now, try not to regret too much. And I think if you guys are looking back and you're saying, gosh, I wish I'd done this, wish I'd done that, it's not a bad thing. You know, what you knew back then versus what you know now is going to be different. And that's very much connected to your awakening. You know, your education, because it's interesting. This card's about you feeling, you know, in a pain but experience, man, I can't believe I didn't see these things. Can't believe I didn't look at things this way. And all of a sudden you're different and you're like, I want to know more. Why didn't I apply myself more when I was younger so I could have had a better job, etc. Not to be regretful of the past, to know you fully have power. A lot of times when we're looking at the past, we get triggered. It's healthy to do that, but then when we're looking forward, we're like, oh, I'm getting older, so I can't really achieve that. And there's no age bracket. It's our mindset, almost self-sabotaging before we've attempted. There's no time on it. You're here right now, and you have the ability to achieve anything. And, you know, really in a manifestation sense, when we talk about it, our ego says, unless we're working, we can't achieve things. Yet you could go by an example. Somebody could gift you money, or somebody could actually, what do you call it? I gave my mum a reading years ago, and she was on the pension, and I said to her in the car, I said, you're going to travel. And she goes, no, I can't, because I don't have any money. And I said, that's luck and that's not real. And the reality is it could come to you in any shape or form, but you're questioning the fact that there is a potential that this is what I'm saying for you. And she was like, okay, we'll test it. I said, just release, just believe this is what I'm saying and this is how it's going to be. And she did call me several months later, and she had been speaking to somebody, and they had paid for her ticket, they paid for her accommodation, they paid for her passport, and she went on holiday. So our ego tells us that unless it's coming through my job, which you have power in, which is an ego. Yes, obviously, if you're working, you're going to achieve those things. But money can come at left field in various shapes and forms. It can be inheritance. It can be somebody gifting it to you. It can be lotto. It can be many things. But while we're thinking 2, 3D, we actually directly block it. And you do have a lot of luck around you. But your belief systems, you're going to be tapping into that. I do feel travel for you guys, but I do feel it's like you're wanting to, but you're telling yourself no. Whatever that's going to be, it can also be a spiritual quest that you're going on. But I do feel this can also be, for some of you, connected to a romantic connection. There is going to be movement with this, and you're wanting to make plans with this person. But you're looking at the 3D of situations around you. Meditate. You can do things in different ways. It doesn't directly have to be overseas, but it's also the energy of where you want to take this relationship. What you have right now versus what you want to have in 2020. Meditate on that. Do the work. Have a look at what you want to do. And it can also be looking at your belief systems interlinking with your partner. Now, you might find, wow, we're really on the same page, or wow, we're very different, but that's okay. It works. And some of you might be feeling, I'm just not directly connected to this. So it depends on how you're spiritually linking in, because you are evolving. But I'm not feeling it negatively. I'm just feeling you guys are weighing up the pros and cons of some of those hopes and dreams that you're wanting to achieve in your romantic life, in your connections, in your own energy. What you're going to need to do to have those dreams come true. Very good time for you guys to meditate, though, because I do feel you really, especially with your religion coming up and your spirituality, it's very important, and you might not be having as much time as you'd like to. Now, Capricorn, this is your 5th house, which governs your romance, birth, children, and love. And again, I'm hearing you're spreading yourself too fine, but you're being too busy. You're being very busy. And again, it's about having the pleasures in life, and there could have been miscommunication in these areas. There could have been too much going on, but I do feel that that energy is changing. Now, you've got the Queen of Coins. Like I said, you're working really hard. You are going to reap what you sow in a positive sense, okay? You're trying, everything you're doing is for the bigger picture. It's for the bigger picture in a sense of what you're trying to achieve. So if you're wanting children, you haven't had them yet, and you're trying to create a foundation, and I'll pull a chakra card for you guys. I don't know why, and this could be Capricorn Energy Collective, because we do have obviously Saturn and Pluto energy coming through in that. You're taking accountability. There's energies transforming. Now, it might have been super difficult for you guys this year, having to really act. You're acting your own energy, but it's, how do I put it? It's testy. It's testy because there's been more coming at us energetically. So it's a unique year. Communication is big time for you guys, okay? So what you speak, you bring into fruition. Everything you're saying, try and keep it as positive as possible. You might need to really navigate the mind. And your need, how do I put it? And I'm hearing songs in my head. You're wanting things to move quicker. You're wanting things to look better. You're wanting to balance everything. You could potentially be frustrated with the communication in these areas. There could be some energies that haven't looked so great the last few weeks. It will give you time to meditate and try and deal with some of these scenarios. But again, do move into the energy for the first 3 to 4 days, where all of you guys give yourself that meditation time, the time to get the downloads, because you've had plenty of downloads. But now it's the grounded energy where you need to get less fiery, more grounded, more practical and realistic. Try to not get to the point where you're building walls around you, and look at the power of what you can do to transform these scenarios. But again, I do feel it will turn out fine. But with the 5th house activation, with your romance, it's like I do feel you guys are spreading yourself too fine, and just you're wanting those things potentially for those of you that are working very hard, and you're finding that there's very little time to give to everything that you need. It's really look at the areas at the moment that need the most attention and deal with that as a number one first, and then move on to the next one, just for the first week, okay? Now, the next sign is Cancer. This is your 11th house, and this is your friends, clubs, associates, and aspirations. Now, this is connected to your hopes and dreams, and you're looking at scenarios playing out in your life. You're looking at the relationships, the connections, your work, what you spiritually believed versus what you're now believing after you've had the downloads, and you're looking at it going, okay, then. Some of you are looking at them and thinking, have you outgrown them? Others of you are looking at those situations and saying they're still there in a hope dream. And you're wondering, how are you going to do that? Something keeps pulling you back. And I do feel with the Saturn and Pluto energy, you've had those epiphanies with the Scorpionic energy coming through. Mars is asking you to take your power back. By the Taurus energy coming through, I do feel you'll be ready to move forward. Some of you might be moving away from certain situations and really diving in the deep end into a new area. Others of you, your hobbies and your pastimes, it's like the energy, you've got the Fool card, but it's like a new start. And it's the full moon is directly a new start. It's an ending of one way of being. It's the beginning of a new one, but it's what do we tangibly, physically, especially with the Saturn Pluto energy, need to leave behind that isn't in alignment with these dynamics, that physically isn't fitting that puzzle. And this is what I said to my daughter. I said, I do find, especially with the people that I work with, through YouTube, that have channels, and then you guys, when you book readings, when I talk to you as my family tribe, we all collectively are going through a similar transition, and it's trying to get life to mesh into orderly fashion where it's working, and then you get your ascension symptoms, there's things going on, and it has been this really juggling act. And I feel spiritually, when you go through a transformation stage, you do reach a point where you know what feels nice and what doesn't. And I do feel that when you reach that point, that's why I keep mentioning the solar plexus and sacral chakra, because you've moved to a point where you understand who you are, but you can't navigate that around people, places, and things if it's not in alignment. It's like looking at what you physically can do, learning lessons from it, upgrading your energy, and then looking at others. And I just feel for Cancers, you guys are willing to take a leap of faith. You're willing to jump in the deep end, but you're looking at things. And look at the 0 degree point. And this is really in astrology. At the 0 degree point with any planet, and you kind of look at the full moon as that, because it's reached its point, okay? It's like something's got to go. Old energies are going. New energies are coming in. This is what we're wanting. And you're looking at it and you're going, okay, so if this, I'm going to jump. I'm going to jump. I don't know how this is going to go, but I know it feels right. And you're following your intuition. You know, what are your big aspirations in a connection? How are friends, tribe, and people around you? Are they being friendly? Are they connecting in with this? Do they directly relate to your path and who you actually are as a person? And maybe you've evolved past that point and you're not relating to certain people. And old energies with Mercury energy can come back. And it's not that those connections weren't valid and valuable and aren't. It may be due to circumstances around you, and definitely with the Scorpionic energy, really fighting to get the foundation back on track and looking at those things and realizing that a lot of the pastimes that you enjoyed doing, you hadn't been doing due to all these dynamics going on, you know, the juggling of our finances and with the nodes being in Capricorn and family-related dynamics. And for this, I do feel you guys, you're going to get to a point, and I will answer more questions, you know, individually as to you guys once I've finished this. I've got 2 more signs and then I'll be answering everyone's questions. So don't leave the house. Feel free to stick around and we can connect to everyone of what they've been feeling through this transit. So with Cancer in the 5th house, no, 11th house, apologies. Friends, clubs, associates and aspirations. Look, again, this is a Venus house with Taurus. It's also the spiritual energy with the planet being in retrograde, Uranus, Mercury in retrograde, Jupiter direct, you know, it's making aspects to Jupiter, Saturn and Pluto. You're going to have to get into your, you know, your third eye, your crown chakra. What are you into? And I feel the Scorpionic energy has given us that. So moving forward, it's okay with all the information I've collected, what you know about yourself and what you're willing to do. I do feel you're on the precipice of complete change. It's like, you know, having a hunch and going, I've been hearing this, I've been feeling this, I've been listening, but no, I'll just hold on a little bit longer. You guys are ready to take a leap of faith. This can go in astrology, 0 degree point, infinite potential, but there's no going back. It's like it's new. You don't know what you're going to get, but you're going to get something. But it can go various ways. Some of you, I do feel, are just quickly trying to get some R&R, quickly trying to catch up with people that you haven't seen for a long time. And I don't feel it's been due to you not wanting to. I feel it's been due to circumstances surrounding you. So it is a good time for socialisation, but do everything in moderation and be very selective about who you're giving your energy to, okay? Because if you're biting off more than you can chew and you're spreading yourself like butter, those targets that you're wishing to achieve by the end of the year can deeply impact you. But it's almost like being on a diet and never rewarding yourself and just like, this is it, cold turkey, this is how we're going. 9 times out of 10, it won't work because the adjustment hasn't, you know, it hasn't come through where it's balanced. So this has been a very imbalanced environment. Scorpionic energy is brought up. So for you guys, Cancers, I do feel you're just looking at it going, you know, sod it. I'm going to do something that makes me feel good because it's been unhealthy. And, you know, the energy of Venus is okay. Is this to the detriment of, you know, your passions and your hopes and your dreams in life and you're ready to take a leap of faith. But I feel it's a leap of faith out of situations into something better. Any Cancers in the house? Scorpio, 7th house. Okay, this is marriage, contracts, partnerships. And again, it is about you guys looking at it and going, okay, now with this situation, how do I look at it? How do I transform this situation? Is there something that I need to do? Do I need to look at this in a different way? Some of you also may be looking at your career. And again, it's about sharing the energy in those areas, what your intuition has been. And, you know, your energy will become lighter, but it's softening, okay? He's a Cancer. Haha. So for Scorpions, you guys are going to be moving into one frequency and into another, you know. So you've been on high gear for a while, and now you're going to be going, okay, now I need to pay some attention over here. So you guys would have been tuning into yourselves quite a bit. Now it's like you're tuning into the connections, which is healthy. It's a good way to balance it. You're now tapped out of one frequency into another. And moving into the Taurus frequency, you're going to be looking at your marriages, contracts, and partnerships. And I was like, okay, now that I've looked at myself and how I hold a role in this and what I've been fighting for, what I feel, what I've uncovered in my own energy, not just at a psychic point of view for Scorpions, but very much from what you've learned about yourself during that transit, not just about other people. Now you're looking at the other people and the connections and now what you know after the fact and how you're going to put the energy into it. And I do feel you guys are going to really start working on what you want to do from here in those areas. Some of you may wish to change jobs, but again, Mercury is retrograde, so use the first week to actually tune into what you do, meditate. I mean, if you totally know what you want to do, jump, okay? And I do feel this is a very unique Mercury retrograde where usually I'd say don't proceed forward. I just don't feel we have that luxury this year. You know, we really are moving into 2020 January. We've got the eclipses next month, so a lot of this frequency is shifting us into higher ascension. And follow your hunches of what you need to change to have that solid foundation next year. This is a change of direction for Scorpio, okay? These troubles and delays may come up in the contract. You might be looking at your work and thinking, okay, well, if I jump the gun now, what's going to happen next year? What would I need to do? If it's been a nagging inkling that you've been having, really do look at it and address it. But if you've been waiting for that pay rise and things to come through, this is when it's going to slowly start moving through. So we're almost out of the woods into brighter waters, especially with the Sagittarius moon coming after the Taurus moon. It is connected to growth. So it's boding well, but it's new things that you can integrate into these connections. It's new ways you can look at it. It's new life you can breathe into it to reap the best out of it. Very good time to do networking as well from the 20th onwards. And definitely, you know, try and get all your old paperwork and scenarios tied up in this transit with Mercury retrograde. It's the old energies you need to deal with so that you're free for this new frequency coming in. So really, if you haven't completed them, I do feel this Taurus energy is going to be shoving those things out and finalizing them, and they will be subject matters coming up connected to that of what is blocking your path moving forward, and that's for everyone collectively. Pisces, this is your third house. Third house is communication, self-expression, and short journeys. There could have been some cross wires with you guys. Hi, how are you? Looking after yourself? Now, Pisces, you have the Knight of Cups. Now, with it being your third house of communication, I'm kind of laughing because there could have been some cross wires and connections, right? This is where you're being playful. This can be within a connection. This can be where you're meditating upon previous ways in which you related to individuals, be it you were dating, be it you're in a connection. If you're in the connection and you had been communicating, maybe there was some cross wires. This is going to be a time where some of those emotions can be a little bit raw, where they can be coming up. But if you focus in on them, meditate on them first, and this doesn't have to be connected to a romantic sphere, but it can be due to you feeling hurt or unmotivated, you know, both with finances and love and things that you've invested in. And it lacked in the motivation for you to want to move forward. This is really a time where you can look at that and do some healing in that area. But I do feel it's going to be quite positive because I think if you take the playful approach after the fact, and it might be that you're it's interesting because I do feel there could be some romance in the air, because the thing that I keep hearing is butter wouldn't melt in your mouth, but it feels very flirtatious, playful, and fun. It's going to be deeply emotional, but this is good, okay? This is good. It's just, you know, waters run deep, and I'm hearing rolling in the deep. I think that's Adele, rolling in the deep. But it's spicy. I mean, although the water energy is coming through, I'm also feeling it to be quite spicy. This could be a physical food you end up eating with this person. But again, there's communication coming through. And the butter wouldn't melt in your mouth. It's like you could be quite quick-witted with the way you're saying things. Or this could be the energy of who will directly be dealing with you. Now, I'm going to pull a chakra card on that for you guys because that's some interesting energy. Okay. Heart-to-heart conversation. The Taurus energy will bring some things up, okay? So you could be saying, look, you're saying this. It feels very playful. Potting and floating, but getting things done. Yeah, I feel you. I feel like... yeah, now I'm hearing a pink song. This used to be a fun house, but now it's full of evil clowns. It's like, you know, juggling. You're just trying to get everything done, and you're like, is this ever going to be over? It is getting there. There's a lot of heart chakra clearing for Pisces, okay? Take the playful approach. That's what I'm hearing. So when it comes to your romance and your connections, the Taurus moon is let the old go. Some of the old energy may come up with this direct person. On your own or directly together, but however it does, whatever, have your meditation time. You're going to look at things more grounded, and you're going to be rational about your approach moving forward. It is also in a communication sense where the person's going to open their heart up to you and explain some things, but also look at your transition and what you've gone through, and really taking accountability for how you want to proceed forward. But there is heart clearing. So it is beneficial because it's upright. There's a lot of love here. There's a lot of emotional. There's a lot of chemistry. And it is moving forward. But I do feel it's very playful. It's a very deep connection. Any questions for those of you in the house? Hit me with your questions. Any questions? Is we all frustrated? Are we all frustrated? Yeah. I have to show you this top due to the fact I'll have to bring the camera down a bit. Okay. I thought it was very fitting for TF Journey. Done time. I was like, I'm so wearing this all the time. Done time. Mum's a Cancer and wants me to ask when will this... I have said that, Giggle, that most that are... How do you put it? Most of the delay and the hold-up has been, it's not a normal Mercury retrograde, I'm telling you. It's like, wait. I feel it's going to move forward after that fact. But the Taurus energy does denote abundance, finances, cash. It's connecting in with that as well. What you do tend to have to do is actually release and just know it's coming. You've got to be in that vibration. But I'm feeling more Mercury direct, and that's around the 20th. So what you'll find is both the Taurus energy, anywhere between then and the 20th, you'll get more information or start moving. The 20th of this month is the frequency coming up. Yeah, I'm with you, Chris. Yeah. Yeah, Carmen, that's because you're a Taurian. You're in it, lady. You won't relate. It's like a spiritual walking, because once you've gone through that, you're like, okay, I'm kind of feeling numb here. Nothing makes sense. Am I in some foreign land? Trust me, I'm going through it myself. I'm like, am I delusional? Have I done my healing work? The codependent patterns have been coming up quite a bit. Double Taurus. Well, how, girl? You're going through it. Where's your Venus? Where's your Venus at? So I did get contact, just like you said, but was more annoying than anything. You got to see what come up for you, femme coach. Like I said to you, at the moment, this year's not romantic because there's so much BS going on. And TF journeys, it's like get while you got other crap going on, it would be like, just wait there. I've got something going on. I'll be there. It's, you know, there's too much going on. The foundation is getting sorted. Everything we've been holding inside, we're suddenly bringing out all this manifestation qualities coming through. You're not seeing it yet, especially if you're having tower moments. Tower moments got to happen. All this manifestation's coming. So that of what you've been thinking, it's waiting. It's coming in sharp and fast. Tower moments, that's your hunch. Things are getting real. Yeah, but her energy with her twin giggle is slightly different, but it's good. But giggle's getting contact soon too. My Venus is in Taurus. Oh, bugger me. Okay. Venus and Taurus and Taurus. Oh, baby girl. Mate, even what you want in romance has changed. You're looking at, you're like, look, okay, what you got to do, because you're in typical Taurian energy. Taurus energy, in researching it, does two things. It's like, I can see the value in you. And then it's, I'll go to hell and high water for you. And then it's, okay, I feel under attack here. There's too much going on. And it is similar to a crab. And again, any moon energy is always going to take on the energy of what it's connected to, which is Cancer. Because Cancer is a moon energy. So it's like the emotions and the things that come up on top of the Taurus energy, which Taurus is actually in Uranus in retrograde at the moment. It's like, where am I spiritually going? What am I spiritually doing? So you, not only in your romance house, and the way you could all of a sudden just go, I'm changing my hair. And then go, why did I do that? What's wrong with me? Because you're totally changing. Things don't relate to you and you're fed up. But it's also that transformation is very scary. Taurus sun. Oh, wow. Rising. Leo moon. Oh. Ha, you got the Leo moon there. So that's the strength. And that did come up for Taurus. Yeah, but like I said, the energy of the purge is nobody's liking this. I mean, how can we be loving and romantic to each other and nobody at the moment is enjoying these transformative energies? I mean, it's been 3 years, theoretically 5, but the heaviest that most of us collectively would understand is being 3. And so I think we're all just like, bugger me, is this changing? I've been at mum's taking care of her. Yeah. Yeah, it is. But the thing is, Uranus is in Taurus for a while, so you guys are going through a major life transformation. But it doesn't. You will adjust. It's an adjustment state, but it's going to be beautiful. What will occur in your life because you'll be untouchable. You will follow your higher ground. You won't second guess yourself. You will have a strong relationship with yourself. You will like the new version of you. The new version of you is already in there. It's just been hiding. It's been suppressed due to external scenarios, which is why the chakras keep coming up. You know, and a lot of us at the moment, and I did write a post on Facebook, and I do believe I shared it on the psychic page, and I was talking about the chakras, and the chakras are a connection of power. A lot of us are feeling quite disempowered at the moment. So, you know, you're looking at it, and, you know, the sacral chakra is about your creativity. You might have been trying to get back on track, trying to get back to your gardening. You might have been a chef, or you might have been wanting to create a child or something to that degree. The creativity, the art, the femme energy, right? But also your hobbies and your spirituality, but the power that you physically have, but your passions in life and your hopes and dreams, the fun things, the intimacy within connections and wanting to dive deep into that, the guilt and the fear directly connected to that. That's all sacral chakra. You've also got the solar plexus, which is joy and anger. Self-belief, ego, empowerment, ambition, the planet of war, Scorpio energy, which is solar plexus. So that energy has been smashing us for weeks. Where you're looking at it now, and the polarity is once you have that, now you're looking at the Taurus energy, which is I want to get into prettier waters. You know, I want to get into this Venus, this balance energy, which is the Taurus energy, but also being very strict and accountable. Thanks, Star. personally doing healing on? Oh, what do you want to know, sweet? What are you wanting to know? What are you stuck with? What do you want to know? Lovely. And yes, thank you for it. Most appreciated. What would you like to know? What do you want me to tune into? Or what are you struggling with? What are you stuck on? I mean, probably what we're all stuck on right now, really. My relationship. Okay, are they overseas? The family. Why am I feeling they're from another country? I'm feeling they're from another country. Is that correct? This could be either travel or directly connected to a different country. I'll wait before I bounce forward. I've been on here quite a while. Guarantee my daughter's asleep. Oh, 11:11. Let's see what comes through. The one thing I am sensing is there is a connection to, I think the family has a connection to overseas. Now, I don't know whether there's this overseas trip or something going on. They are here but traveling to, there you go, to another country. Okay, so I'm seeing something to do with that. Look, that could be affecting you. It is to do with the other energy that you're asking about. They're connected, but they may not want to go. There's a reason they're going as well. Like, when are they traveling? Is it January? Let me check. 1 minute. I'm going to go back up. I mean, I would not recommend anyone in January to be traveling. Okay. Let me double check. Turkey in 2020 plus other countries. Okay, yeah, I am seeing travel. Now, January probably ain't the best time. Okay, cool. Yeah. Mercury does go retrograde during the year 3 times, but January is one of those really interesting energies. I think we all energetically need to be pretty grounded. Now, a lot of feminine energies could get super, frustrated because there's a lot of imbalanced energy, especially with the eclipses going on. The last time those aspects were connected to the planet of war, so we're talking World War I, World War II. It doesn't have to be that it goes on that way, but there is a lot of feminine aspects coming up where there can be triggers. With this, I do feel it could even be for 6 months. Now, the other person's energy, I don't think they want to go. But there is a connection to family and something connected to that going on. Does that make sense? Now, I'll pull a card for you. Just hold up on the other questions until I just get hers done. And then otherwise I'll miss it in the feed because it's bouncing through pretty quick. What do you want to know about the family, though? Because I'm seeing maybe a wedding or something to that degree. It's like a connection to family who's overseas going to see them. There feels like there's a direct reason why they're going, not just the normal of we're going on holiday. But there's also an old-fashioned connection of a belief system there too. You might be feeling, hey, am I bloody going? What's going on? Like, what does this mean? What does this mean? Can I come with you? Because it feels like you feel like this is it. It's not it. It's a belief system. You need to get grounded during the Taurus moon because it's going to help you understand what's going on. And you're wondering if there's any rebuild in this situation, right? Can you rebuild? What's going to happen? What if this happens? Does this mean that, all this investment and love and connection I put into it, what's going to happen? But I do feel it's really helped you. Good. you're like, and that can be your work energy coming through. It can be you've been working too hard, but at the same time, I'm feeling a wedding. Who's getting married? I'm feeling a wedding. Don't be surprised if you get a proposal next year. Are you married? There feels like a proposal here. Something is coming out of left field. But you have been working too hard. You've been picking up the pieces connected to a past tense situation. There has been healing going on here. You potentially do have a psychic connection with the person. You're almost at the point where you're going, perhaps my uncle overseas on the village and my brother. Yeah, well, there is. I'm feeling an energy of a wedding. I do feel it's a happiness, but I do feel you're just like, it feels like this super serious energy at the moment. There is a super serious energy. Like I said, I do feel it'll come at the right time. But you will have major things happening potentially in career as well by next year. So there's, as much as you think it's going to go one way, it's going to go very differently to what you're thinking. I hope that answers your question. Jen, what were you wanting to know? Yeah, checking like you're gonna do well. Try not to stress. You're gonna do well, but you're gonna, between now and then you're gonna be really tired. But I do feel like career ambitions really growing next year. And life is going to get back on track. It is going to be different. But yeah, I'm going to have to scroll back. Okay, going back up through the audit. Okay, Jen. How far up do I have to go, Jen? Good grief. Yeah, Jen, hit me with it again. Give me a fresh spin. What do you want to know, sweet? How you been anyway? Long time no chat. Long time no chat, Jen. How are we all? Are we doing well? It is now 9:51 p.m. Hope to manifest stable, steady, love, money transition. Look, 2020 is good for connections. It's a vibrational number 4, yeah. Oh, thank you for the likes. Well, the likes do help other people get the videos, and then we can have newbies join the tribe, and then if they need help, they can actually get it. But that's up to you guys as watchers. It's your opinion that counts. You're here to critique the video. I'll take the answer you just gave. Very happy. Oh, really? What, did I miss you? I always miss you, Jen. But yeah, 2020 is good for relationships. So those of you on a TF journey at the moment, you've been going, where the hell? I mean, look, I can tell you what I see psychically. I can tell you what I see astrologically. I also am ahead on the journey. Doesn't mean to say I'm ahead theoretically, but where I am, I'm experiencing a different paradigm in union. So what I'm saying, a lot of that for you who aren't in union will experience this next year. The aspects of the astrology are different, so you will have a unique way of experiencing it. But at least when you're going through that transformation, I would have well and truly already experienced it, and I can help you through with that. And hopefully, we can directly relate, and I can explain the things I've gone through, which is still going to be similar to what you're doing at a singular level, healing. Trust me, it is, because when I look at readings, it's still relating. Jen wants to know about her cancer and if he's healing. It's funny you say that. I was sitting there and I was going like this. I was like, let me tune into cancer. Have they healed? That's so weird that you asked that. I think yes. Okay, and this is, I have a lot of cancers again around me, and including my rising sign is Cancer. Yes. Okay. Again, as I mentioned, the chakras. There's this awakened sense that they, again, with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn, they've been balancing their shadow side as well. Their work, how they feel about themselves, how they value themselves, and then looking at themselves and how they could rectify and fix things of the past, because the nodes in Capricorn is past karma, the nodes in Cancer is future karma. So they're actually trying to create fresh karma. So that is healing. They're recreating that relationship with themselves, their emotions. They're looking at those things and they're trying to rectify those things. Yeah, no, sure. Excuse my French. But I don't know, man. There's been a lot of Cancer Libran romances. I mean, my twin is Libran rising and Cancer. He's Cancer zodiac sign. I'm Libran with Cancer rising. Scorpion in the Venus house, Leo in the Venus house. Interesting. Yeah, so, yeah, unique. But yes, I do, and especially connected very separately to TF Journey, masculines and feminines. I do feel they're really looking at things, and this scorpionic energy was a huge benefit because it's helped us get into our subconscious minds. It's helped us tap into those energies, and then we're coming up and we're seeing the stark reality of things, and it's helping us question our value in things. Okay, am I willing to go in hell and back with this situation? It can be a people, place, or thing, a belief system, a paradigm, a spiritual blockage, and it's helping bring it up so that that resurrection of that energy can be the new physical truth, because we're all evolving. Okay, feeling like I feel you. I feel you. Look, the career, and again, the career and relationships, the energies all year have been internalization, right? And this is something positive, although it's helped right now. December does help for all that movement, right? Especially at a financial level. So if you're wanting to move into careers, if you're networking, even though we're in Mercury retrograde, start putting your resumes out right now. Start doing what you need to, because once it goes direct, I'm seeing a slingshot effect. December bodes very well financially. And it sounds crazy. It's like the end of the year, come Christmas, come the end of the year. How is that going to happen? You could land the most amazing job, but you have to network now. Jupiter direct, you know, those energies coming through, it's going to be the beneficial time to do that. But always trust that when something's taken from you, it's protecting you for the correct time. What you have within your power, do. What you don't, try to not be frustrated. But 2020 for connections and relationships is more balanced. But it means all those manifestations, all the work we've done on the inside, it will be, all the work is going to occur on the outside. So it'll be physical changes happening. Does that make sense? So yes, I feel your pain. I've been trying to balance for a whole year. And I'm like, I've been trying to do this, trying to do that, shifting things around. And it's been family-related dynamics, you know, fine-tuning things, Mercury retrograde. I'm always like, when Mercury's coming retrograde on YouTube, I'm like, oh, here we go. And it's not YouTube, it's technology. You know, it's the way it goes. Yeah. Oh, the joy. I think potentially yes, Chris. And Chris, I feel you ready to go on a holiday. Like a holiday, like a holiday. You're overdue, Chris. You're overdue. Okay? You look after yourself. They haven't broken the cycle completely yet, Jen. It is close. You know, like I said, I'm going to be doing the TF kind of updates, and I have put the schedule in there, so I've got something to look at, and I've blocked it out of my schedule so I can be available to do it, so I can get these done. Yes, there is the potential, but providing they've directly dealt with their physical block, if they haven't, it's temporary, and you don't want that. Moving forward to 2020, it won't be the ability to be temporary. Do you know what I mean? So I'll pull a card for you again, and I'll see where the energy lies. But I'm feeling they're in awareness. But most of it will be, yeah, like the movement will be, yeah, they're what they're doing is work related, okay? So they're really focused on their finances, and I do feel masculines collectively are working on their frigging finances. But again, this is positive because it is an abundance card. So the Taurus energy is about assets. So it can be they're weighing up the pros and cons of the benefit of the direct situation they're in, Jen. And if they look at that and they have that spiritual connection of this doesn't resonate with me anymore, then they're going to choose where they're going to invest, and it'll be more positive moving through the Taurus moon. And moving into the Sagittarius moon, it's Sagittarius, which is Jupiter energy. It's if they want to grow and get out of it, they're going to have to move. So that's when you'll see shifts. As long as that, yeah. So then that's when they're going into hermit mode during the Sagittarius moon, and they're going to look at it and they're going to go, okay, because this is about a connection. This is about, you know, their legacy and what they wanted to leave behind, their connections if they're in a family, etc. It's like looking at that and going, okay, what do I connect as tribe? Yeah, actually preparing. So looking at it and going, is this money worth it? Do I need to cut my ties? Do I need to jump? But having to actually look at it and take ownership of it. It shall get there, Kim. Sweet dreams, Carmen, and say happy birthday to your beautiful sister and say hello to Ma. Say hi, Ma. You take care, love. So what's the freedom from, Kim? What freedom are you wanting, doll? What are you freeing yourself from? Again, go and balance all your chakras, guys, the lower chakras, and it'll give you this empowerment. But anchor your energy and try and walk around, you know, with your shoes off, charge your crystals, charge your water so you can have that, you know, detoxification of what doesn't resonate with you, what doesn't connect. Oh, yeah, it has been. I mean, I've been taking quickies. I've been like, tap out, enough already. Might need to get my alfoil hat out again. I mean, hey, this is collective energy. We've done time, man. We've done the time. We've done the time spiritually. Financial freedom, interesting. Okay, creative energies. Kim, if you were planning to do something, like are you working in a career? Are you thinking of doing your own business venture? Because the financial freedom I feel is going to come from a separate venture, and it does feel something you're having control over. I'm also seeing plans. What are the plans for? Is it a renovation? Is it a building? Like, what is this? Or is it a mindset like of what you want, what you're planning? But it just feels like a building plans. What are you planning? Oh, I'm with you, Google. I feel deflated like a flat balloon. We just got to pump up that iron and keep going. We can keep going. We can do it. I'm glad, Kelly. So, Kim, what is this financial freedom about? Why am I seeing plans for you? Yeah, you will, Dal. You do need a holiday, though. I'm seeing water as well. All shall come. All shall come, Brandy. Well done. It is a good Gen X, Jeff, that, you know, if you're pushing ahead and you're doing those things, you're going to get the best out of it. But it will be more team orientated. So there will be work to do. You know, don't get me wrong. It's not going to be coming to us on a gold and silver spoon. It's going to be, we're going to have to put the work in it, but we're going to be hungry for it. So we're going to make those things happen. I will have to go shortly. But Kim, if you backtrack and you look, you know, I have mentioned that, yeah, I see plans there for some reason. It looks like architectural plans, something to that degree. I love yous all so much. Now, I probably will be coming back tomorrow for a collective energy update. I do have a reading in the morning. And then, you know, have a look at the community tab because I am trying to keep you guys updated as to the times of when I'm coming to you. Obviously, if I'm, you know, I knew that this energy had to come through for you guys. Plenty of you are needing a lot more support through this transit. You know, I haven't been able to come to you guys at night time. I've been really juggling my energy. Trust me, with the Capricorn energy, it's connected to past tense karma. So contracts, legalities, infrastructure, finances, it all governs that, right? With the eclipse energy coming in, it's tying out an old connection chapter, right? So you've got the Capricorn eclipses coming up next month, which end that cycle. So we've got Mercury going direct this month. We've got the subject matters of what it was versus what it wasn't. Then we're moving into December, which is the eclipse energy. That's ending a 6-month cycle. So if you've been waiting on that, you know, and you've been dealing with it for a year to 6 months, the eclipses started in January and they've rolled over. Now they do stem from last year, right? So what it is, I'm feeling a building, Kim. So this could be architectural plans. So it might be the selling of an asset. It may be that in order to sell it, you know, because, you know, if you do have an asset together and you are selling it, I'm seeing building plans. So I know in common sense is when I see something, I've got to govern back to what I know in the area, right? So sometimes when you're selling a home, they look on the plans. So they've got the physical plans there, and that's to hand down to the next owner because they're part of a legal contract. They're the deeds, so to speak. So I'm saying that. So there's a potential that that will come up, like handing a deed over. That's what it's sort of looking like. But what you'll find is at a contractual level for all of us, once those eclipses come in, although we're like, oh God, eclipses are coming back again, they're ending cycles. You know, the moon energy that we're moving into is directly connected to a transit we were effectively experiencing last year around Venus retrograde, but it stems back even further than that, you know. So you have to be a superhero of astrology, which, you know, I'm knowledgeable about it, but directly speaking, when you experience those eclipses, it is tying out a cycle and it is connecting them with Capricorn, which is finances, contracts, judgments. So what you'll find is that can be a time when it resolves and gets brought up. And then moving into January, we have lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, and the Cancer energy coming through again, which is connected to families. And with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, it can be complete endings. And it can mean passing away of people, things, ending of belief systems, ending of a way of being, a new way of being. But every ending has a new beginning. All my love, Chris. You take care, doll. Yeah. We've both got one. So I think you realistically, once you reach that point, you know, where you're both like, you reach that point, and you will, both spiritually, where you'll be on that same wavelength. You're like, man, we've done time. And it hasn't felt like, as much as I do try and hold comedy, it has not felt like a joke. It hasn't. And I'm sure for him it hasn't either in life, in general. And for you guys. I'm not by any means. You ask Google. She's seen me in tears. It has not been a fun transit this year. But then it hasn't been as bad as last year, but it's just been different. It's been nagging because, you know, we have been going through this for a few years. So after a while, just like, God, with the BS, come on. It's just little things, you know. It's because you've evolved and it's like other situations happen around you. And then you've got the tolerance, the patience, the awareness, because once you're awake, you can't go back and it is a huge responsibility. So you're checking yourself, you're doing the work and you're looking at it and you're going, okay, then I'll look at it from another angle. And then you sometimes do question yourself, like, oh, have I done enough work? Do I need to look at myself more? So it has been a very testing year. But the frustrations have not helped. So, you know, with the nights being in Cancer and Capricorn, there's been many changes, many shifts, many delusions that have come up for us. And we're like, oh, God, I thought this was based on a good foundation. Better correct that. Any other questions before I love you and leave you till tomorrow? Providing everything is organised. Otherwise, check the community tab because I am updating you and those set schedules. As long as Penny Little, the roof doesn't fall down, I've set it and allocated the time where I can directly come to you guys at that time. And I have placed the time in there for those. And the ones I haven't, check AM, PM, I will be here. Oh, do you like? Yeah. And I've only got I will get a bit of light behind me because it's making my head look quite yellow, but I like the blue. Yeah. Yeah, blue. The blue room. Love you all. I hope this has helped. Thank you for liking and sharing, and thank you for the donations. I do appreciate that. And thank you for those of you who have been following me for 3-4 years. Much love. You know, I wanted to be here for you guys and come and pay it forward. I am going to colour it different. You know, we get variety in here. We'll have to get variety. And I'll see you guys soon. Yes, I do have still the twin flame updates. I've done them separately, I think, because we're both uniquely looking at things differently. And I don't just want to look at how the direct connection's going. I'm going to do that. But I do want to look at what you guys individually, energetically are going through because there's huge shifts. There's huge shifts, I'm telling you. And feminists are a bit like... Yeah. Thank you for the 16 likes. Love yous all, guys. Take care, okay? I'll see you soon. And a warm welcome to anyone who's new.